Hey, my name is Ikta, and today I'll show you how I did this. Alright, to pull this all off, overall I needed 8 trigger hotkeys for this. I had one for the default pose where my character was always basically at, whether it was for the video or streaming. Then a zoomed in pose where the character is going to end up. The overlay effect, I have one for on and off, which was for making the dark mood, shady mood kind of thing. Which basically makes the eyes glows as well. Then we had one for mesh color changed. I had created one that changes the eye color so the red pops a bit more out. Obviously, I'll need another one to reset that back to default, else it would look a bit too weird. Then one for loading in the hand padding, and then another one that was playing the model animation. Now that part with the pre-recorded model animation, you don't necessarily need to have it. It's basically where I pre-recorded the motion of leaning into the hand pat and have that played off. So I personally wouldn't have to lean in, but if you prefer doing it on your own, leaning into it, you can do that as well. To do the zoom in and zoom out, we'll have to have 2 different hotkeys, one for the default pose. So I'll place the character where I want it right here. Have the hotkey action move model selected and record the position. Then we're going to reposition it to where we would like to have this zoomed in. I'll do it on this one. And then again, on the next hotkey trigger, move model, record the position. And I have it on 1 and 2 right now for testing. So this is default, and this is zoomed in. I forgot to mention that something has to be changed with the model to have the eyes overall glow, because by default they would look like this. So to do this, we go to the settings of the model, customize scene lighting for art meshes, and then click on our eyes. I know for 55 and 56, that's my right one, and then for 27 and 28, that's my left one. So now they will glow in the dark. For the overlay effect, we would go back to the settings again, and then we click on the camera, scroll a bit further down, and right here where it says display settings, this is what I currently have. So I have it on screen number 1, but overlay is on 0 and smoothing is on 0 as well. If I would go higher, then obviously, it would stack up. But this is the setting for the default. So when creating the trigger hotkey, this is the off one. I'll go and where it says screen overlay, record settings. This is settings I want to have when it's off. When for on, we go back to the camera, display setting, and then brightness we turn down. And overlay we can turn a little bit up if we want to have the colors that are on our screen, as in, for example, mine showing VTube Studio, have an effect on the character sliding. So I'll then turn it a bit lower, have it like this. Again, overlay, record. Let's do a test. 1, this one on 2. So 2 is off, then 1 is on. To change the eye colors and make them pop more out on the trigger, we would go first and save our current mesh colors. This is very important. So if you're someone who changed already colors by default on your character, you would have to have this recorded first, else you will be ruined. For those that didn't change anything on their character, you don't necessarily have to do or be that cautious about it. So I have to do it. So for default color, you have to go type in mesh, art mesh color preset, and record your current status. Then we're going to go to character icon, customize model, and then we go to customize multiply screen color art for art meshes. Then I'll click on my eyes, 127 and 126. I'll make this a lot more red. I'll copy the code, go for the next one. And then I do the same for the other eye. Enable it, copy paste, enter. Okay, okay. Next one. Okay, okay. And now I do the same thing. Art mesh, color preset, chord. And now if I put this on 3 and this on 4, see the color switch. Now we're doing the hand loading in part. I'm using from Misu the hand assets. You can use anything you want basically for this. I just love the animation on it as well. So I'll angle it on my face how I prefer it. And then I'll have it locked in on the model when I move. I'll create a new item scene and just call that, I'll just call it Pets Deluxe. Save it. And then we go to the trigger hotkeys and have it under, I believe it's, what is it? Toggle item scene. Then the item scene. There we go. Have this edit. Now we have this triggered. To record a motion and have it later on play through a trigger hotkey, we go to settings, camera icon, and then we scroll all the way down. And here we're able to record one. I want to have it for around 5-6 seconds. So I'll select 6 seconds. I'll start recording and do a little motion into it. All right. So you can just play it, you know, if I like it not, change a few things in the settings here. You know, maybe you don't have to blush there or, you know, stuff, some other stuff. All right, I'll call this Deluxe Animation. And then we're gonna go settings, hotkeys, and then down for the animation. The very top, play animation, and then select it. And then now if I trigger it, it will play the animation. Obviously, the mouth is not gonna be doing anything, or the tracking overall is going to be overwritten by the animation. So keep that in mind. Now that the animation is done, I want to have the hands to also disappear when the animation is finished. So I'll do it around, 6 seconds. I'll press 1 and 2 and see how the timing is. Yeah, I can work with that. So now that VTube Studio is all finished up, setting up, we're going to go to Streamerbot. Now we come to the Streamerbot setup. If you don't know how to connect your Twitch account with Streamerbot or connect VTube Studio with Streamerbot, I'll be linking videos down below. Else, feel free to contact me or reach out. I'm always there and always happy to help. With that being said, under actions, we do a right click, add, and then put a name for the overall action. I already created one and I placed it in a group called tutorial. That's the Deluxe Pads. For triggers, I wanted it to trigger when someone redeems a channel reward. You can simply do a right click here, Twitch, channel reward redemption. You can either create it in the Streamerbot or just select one you already created, and then it will be triggered by that. Under stop actions, we're going to do a right click, integrations, VTube Studio, trigger hotkey. Then we're going to select the model. This one is for me, and then I'll just select this one for now. To make it a bit faster or easier, we know we created 8 in total trigger hotkeys. So I'll just copy paste this 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So the order is as followed. The model zooms in, right? So we'll need to zoom in. Then the color should change. So we're gonna do the effect on. Then we're gonna have the eye colors changed. Then we're gonna have the head pad. And we're gonna have the animation. This is basically the beginning, right? And then afterwards, we would have the effect off of the overlay. We would have the eye color normal. And we would be back at the default pose. This is the specific order. Now, obviously, if we trigger this now, everything's going to be tried to be triggered at once. So what we're going to do is do a right click, delay. I'm going to do 500 milliseconds for after the zoom. And then I'm going to copy paste and change this to 5 seconds for basically when the animation and the padding is finished, it will then go and try to reverse to normal. So when we test it, it should look like something like this. All right, so we noticed the effect was a bit too late, to my liking at least. So I'll do it before the timer, give it another try. There we go. I'll set it to 6 seconds. And then if you wanted to have a sound with it to play along, we're gonna go core, sounds, play song. I'll select the cat purr. Let me unmute this. All right, this is what it sounds like. We deselect finish playing before continuing, else it will be an issue because it will play the song and not continue going down the list of what is in there that it's supposed to do. We can select the output device if you want to. I have it on default. Default is for me, my system. We place then the sound before the pads. And if we test it now, it should look like this. Alright, this was the tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you're struggling with anything, need help, feel free to reach out. And I can't wait to see what you all come up with.